nerds. Yeet.
Orange steel. Making it rain.
Check it. Check it, nerds.
Hey, nerds. It's Yeet. We are in the last days, the last week of the ZineQuest. ZineQuest, very late. It is February February the 21st, and we have a couple of games to talk about. Not before we do that though, let's run the numbers. Not a lot of talk here this late in, but you know how things go.
Kobold has wares if you have coin.
So we have two new projects that we backed. Only two in the last 5 days. Only two new projects, bringing us to 36 domestic product. New spend was just $35. Definitely the lowest number that we've seen all the ZineQuest. But that's going to bring our total spend up to $1,216.06. $1,216.06. Thank you, foreign currencies, for making me have to deal with pennies. Six pennies. A couple of projects I wanted to talk about. The first one is R'lyeh Watch. Who doesn't want to mix Baywatch and Cthulhu? What happens if R'lyeh rises up, the stars are right in the Pacific Ocean, and you have to guard the beach? That's what we got here. This just hit. Super fun. Excited to see what's going to come. Want to get my stinking orange paws on this one. One of the new projects from the last couple of days is A Fear Within. And this is by Desks and Dorks. Oh, look, someone just backed it. Desks and Dorks. Who Ninth Level happens to know. They're in Hanover, Pennsylvania. I got to play test a version of this game. You play either a little kid, little tiny one, or you play a thing that is haunting that kid, and you go back and forth, and there's a lot of different things. It's a very interesting. It's a very interesting take on the duality of the universe. Mind's blown. Another project totally unlike the ones that we have already talked about, and I haven't decided if I'm going to back it. I haven't decided yet. This one's called Anatomy of a Spell, and it actually looks really cool, except that it's designed for 5th edition, and we all know that Yeet don't 5e, yo. I don't deal with that 5e. But in this game, it's like a journaling game, but the journaling that you're doing is about creating a spell. So it's kind of like an off-page activity. I think it's neat. I'm not sold. I'm thinking about it though. This is going to be a game time decision. We'll see how Thursday's haul goes. As we only have 2 more Yeet shows. We have this Thursday and the next Tuesday, which is the 28th, the final day. So the next show will be the penultimate day. We have a special segment dedicated to trash, and we're gonna talk to some guests. Speaking of guests, let's bring them to the stream. Mark Braden.
Hello, Yeet.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Where are you calling from, Mark?
You're catching me in Romania. Russia, Romania. Yeah.
Romania, like where the lettuce comes from.
where the vampire comes from.
Oh, vampire lettuce. You heard it here first, folks. So what time is it in Romania?
12:30 at night.
Well, for you.
So
All right. Well,
might be after your bedtime.
way after my bedtime. I'm asleep around 7:30. Woo. I need to pull up your game here. There we go. Whoa. Mark, why don't you tell us about Misadventure Games and this OSR action that you got going on here?
Sure. So we started last year with the core book. I had started it a couple years ago. I was doing a series of. I was living in Ukraine at the time, and I was using.
So you were in the Ukraine.
I was living in Lviv at that point, but I have a house in Cherkasy, a small farm there. So that
you
I
do not sound like you are from the Eastern Europe, though, Mark.
No, I am. No. I'm from. Well, I moved from Florida to Eastern Europe about 4 years ago.
Because that's what everyone always does. That's what everyone always does. All right, so Misadventures in the Ukraine.
Yep. It started as I was playtesting. I have a series of old school essentials about that feature Ukrainian mythology.
Okay.
That I had started a couple of years ago. And when I was playing with players, I was playtesting it with local players there. And so sometimes we would have, they didn't have copies of the game. And sometimes they would just want to like make up spells and make up things. And it was all very fun. And I was like, they were like, oh, can we do this? And I just sort of rolled with it. As long as I got the playtesting and I needed for my, my games, I was like, I just let them do whatever.
Whatever you want to do. I got it.
So Misadventure was sort of born out of that. I sort of simplified some of the rules and then started, changed the magic system to kind of fit more of their free-form play style.
Okay.
And once I did that, I realized, and I'd been playing a few years before that. I'd been playing around with a system, a 2D6 system. And I was like, well, what if I put these two things together? And so once I did we started playing. Actually, they wanted to play a space game, and I didn't have any rules that they had a copy of and I had a copy of. So I decided to throw this together and use it as a set of rules for a space adventure game.
Interesting.
And it just worked really well. It was really flexible, really quick to make rulings with. We kind of play tested the bugs out of it. And so when I decided to release the core rules, I put together a fantasy supplement for it. And so we released the core rules and the fantasy supplement last year.
And you did that as part of ZineQuest last year?
We did, yes.
In the fall or in the spring? Because last year
fall.
In the fall, okay.
Yeah. So then, so I had it completely written and I had it all ready to go. So we were able to release it pretty quick to everybody once it was done. And so I had a couple follow-ups. I still have the space rules that I've never released yet.
You haven't gone deep?
Huh?
You haven't gone deep with it yet?
I had the horror rules here. And so
can I get all of it on your current Kickstarter?
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, actually. Yes, you can. There is a backing level where you can get the core rules, the fantasy book, and the new horror book all together. And so they're all compatible together, of course.
When we're done here, I think I'm going to go back this one.
Yeah. So,
people.
Yeah, no, it's the system is really nice. I mean, it's really simple. I mean, it's a 2D6 system, a point buy system for your characters. Then the nice thing about it is it's all sort of like the core rule book has a lot of like charts in it and stuff, and you can build pretty much anything that you want out of it. And especially like spells, there's no spell list. There's just
stuff like you can make spells from.
Yes, exactly. So a first level spell should be able to have so much power in it. And depending on if you want it to say be telekinesis based, it'll like first level. it has like a certain amount of weight, that can be lifted, or damage it can be done, and etc. And so, and then there's lists in the fantasy book about like different, like there's a wizard, a druid, a blessed by the divine, which is sort of like a cleric, any kind of holy person, a sorceress, and a necromancer. And then there's like a bunch of kind of prompts that give you ideas on how to build spells that would, be appropriate for that.
Well, I think that's really cool, and I'm going to check it out. Like I said, I think I'm gonna run over to the ZineQuest and back all this up. Mark, thanks for coming and talking to people. I hope that you get some more backers over here in the last 4 days. As a weird side note, if you happen to know Mark from the days of the Ukraine, there's going to be a Ukrainian version of Cobalt Date My Baby. That's coming to crowdfunding soon, because there's some Ukrainians that are like, you know what, that game's fun. It's real stuff. All right, Mark, thank you so much for being on Yeet versus ZineQuest. Thank you at home. We will see you on Thursday. Yeet out.
Absolutely.